Welcome to the course sentiment stream. This application is going to monitor, but then provide also historical layout of how the sentiment in student posts contributed to the class. The reason why it's important is because sometimes there are discussion forums, there are other posts being made in the class, and the instructor finds out late that statements were made which should have been reacted to sooner. So we have alerts of negative sentiments, but then also we allow the faculty to see when throughout their class something negative was said, to maybe find patterns and help to manage the sentiment in the class. So number one step in improving something is to measure it. And so how do we measure the sentiment, the emotional set of students as they go through either in class or an online course? In this class, we have some assignments, we have a Blackboard discussion board, we also have a Slack discussion integrated, and we would call these streams. So the stream of content, student comments coming in, is going to be aggregated and then processed. So let's go ahead and launch the application. Because this is an LTI tool, we will know who the instructor is, what the course is. So first we're given some options for setup. Do we want to monitor system announcements? Do we want to monitor student assignment comments? So when a student submits an essay, they get to put something in the comment. And if they put in something like, I really struggled with that, I wish someone would have helped me, this would be then marked as an emotionally negative response. We also have a plugin for the Blackboard discussion boards. Even though REST API currently does not support discussion boards, for this project we developed a building block that provides us with a JSON and allows us to create a stream out of all the discussion posts. And finally, we have integration here with Slack. We're given the channel code and an access token. We can then also monitor the discussion happening in Slack. Finally, we can set whether or not we would like to receive an immediate email when something negative appears in one of these streams. Let's go ahead and preview the actual control view. We have the general breakdown of positive, negative, or possibly not yet processed or neutral responses. We also have a historical view. The blue line happens to be all the comments in various streams totaled, and then positive and negative. And of course, we can manipulate this graph here to maybe zoom in on specific relationships with the data. So the instructor is trying to find out what are the negative comments. Well, all they have to do is to type in negative, and this will show them what is being said in the course in the various channels. Or maybe they're looking for some other key, and this would then help them to find that right inside of the messages that were processed. So now let's go ahead and import additional messages. We have two links here for the needs of the hackathon: the import stream and AWS comprehend processing. This would be done behind the scenes as a cron job, so that of course the notifications can be sent immediately. But for the needs of the hackathon, we wanted to show the two steps that would be taking place behind the scenes. So we just imported 5 messages from Slack, 3 student assignment comments, and 5 discussion posts. Right now this is being throttled to 5 messages per click. Of course, this can be manipulated. So at this time, we have some messages that need to be processed through AWS Comprehend. We'll go ahead and launch this right from the user interface. And we have feedback that 2 of them were positive, 2 were neutral, and we can see, of course, the graph adjusts to that. We'll go ahead and run it one more time to catch up with the remaining 5 being processed, and this then gives us the overall view within the course, as well as, again, the historical display. The faculty can, of course, preview the various comments and spot perhaps the positive and negative responses. So this again is to monitor first of all, but then to help to manage this emotional, the affective domain, the sentiment of the class. Now if I was to switch to a student view, again, this also contains a student tool. Will navigate to the sentiment stream, and as we click on that, you'll notice that we are now not presented, of course, with the control panel, but just an overall view of the positive messages versus the rest of them. So we're not specifically mentioning the negative or neutral, but they are just split between positive and other. And of course, the very important comment, helping students appreciate the need for professional, but also very positive way of communicating. And so that is what the comment on this page would be, to teach students about emotional intelligence in their posts.